Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to another edition of Carolina Panthers Talk, brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming, here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, got some news, Carolina Panthers news, as the Carolina Panthers have traded for a receiver from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Did not see this one coming, to be honest with you. But let's take a look. So the Panthers have traded for wide receiver Laviska Shenault Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they have sent an undisclosed draft compensation in exchange for this wide receiver. So let's take a look at this Laviska Shenault. 23 years old. 6'1", 227 pounds. Played at Colorado. Was a second-round draft pick in the 2020 draft. Like I said, spent his career so far with the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 seasons. Looking at his stats, in 2020, played 14 games, 58 catches, 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then last season, played 16 games, 63 catches, 619 yards, no touchdowns. Did lose a fumble, though. Well, to be honest with you, I kind of surprised at this move. So according to this article, it says that Shenault Jr. adds another option to a deep receiving room where the Panthers were looking for a bigger option. His size and blocking ability adds a physical element they didn't have previously. They have young options in Terrace Marshall Jr. and Shi Smith. Pardon me. But we're looking for more established talent behind starters DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. So Shenault's physical style makes him a good complement. He also has some background with Ben McAdoo, who was quarterback's coach there during Shenault's rookie year. Well, it looks like he can do a little something. I mean, you know, went over 600 yards both his 2 seasons. Had a couple of touchdowns his rookie year. I don't know, y'all. Like, I'm not saying this is a bad player or anything like that. I mean, it looks like this is somebody that could help the team out. You know, add another weapon on wide receiver core. My thing is, like, I really would have rathered us to trade and go after, like, a defensive lineman, like another edge rusher or another defensive tackle. You know, somebody like that. Or maybe, you know, maybe tight end or something like that. Like, wide receiver, I really felt like we were fine at wide receiver, to be honest with you. I mean, it now makes me wonder, like, you know, if they traded for him, you know, it makes me wonder who's going to get cut. It makes me wonder who in that wide receiver core is going to get cut. I mean, are they going to, you know, and apparently I'm hearing word that supposedly Terrace Marshall Jr. is going to stay. You know, I could be wrong, but if that's the case, it makes me wonder who are they going to cut? Because, I mean, bringing this guy, because you got to think, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore are guaranteed. Rashard Higgins, I think, is pretty much staying. I think Shi Smith will stay as well. So, I mean, you get this guy, this Shenault, that's 5. You know, maybe a Andre Roberts, that's 6. So, I mean, and if they were to keep Terrace Marshall Jr., that's 7. So it's like, it makes me wonder who they're going to move, who's going to make the practice squad, because I don't know. Like, bringing in Shenault, I just have a hard time believing that, you know, he's not going to get cut. Or I have a hard time believing that he's going to get cut because, I mean, they traded for him. They traded for him. So it makes me wonder what this receiving room is going to look like with this trade, this acquisition. But personally, I really would have rather them go after a defensive lineman and help bolster the D-line, personally. Especially, you know, with Derek Brown down, not sure how long he's going to be out. And, you know, another edge rusher. You know, I really, personally, I would have used that on a D lineman, whether in the interior or an edge rusher, more so than wide receiver. More so than wide receiver. Like, personally, this sounds like a good player, but bad move. In my opinion. Now I hope I'm wrong, but pardon me. I hope I'm wrong, but I just feel like this was decent player, but just not the move we needed to make. You know, I really feel like D-line, going in on D-line, I feel like would have been the better option. And now, with them doing this, I mean, I don't know what they have left. I mean, there was even talks about them reaching out for Denzel Mims, but I guess maybe that's out of the picture now that they got this Laviska Shenault. But, I mean, I don't know, y'all. Do I think he could, you know, do some damage? Sure. I won't discredit that. But I don't agree with the move. I really don't. I hope I'm wrong in this, but I don't agree with the move. I think D-line, it was a lot more important than going out and getting another receiver. Because, honestly, I think our receiving core is fine. I mean, the only questionable one that I really had on my mind was Terrace Marshall Jr., but mainly it was because, you know, the big question is, can he stay healthy? But, I don't know, y'all. I have mixed feelings about this signing. I don't know. I don't know. There is some more good news. Bradley Bozeman, center Bradley Bozeman, returned to practice. Word is he's good to go. I don't know if he'll start. I think the word is still that Pat Elflein will start at center. But hey, you know, with Bradley Bozeman, you know, returning to practice and getting the reps in, hey, that's a big deal. That's definitely a big deal. You know, that's great news. So, we'll have to see what becomes of that. But, also, one other thing. And I know this has been talked about. I know other content creators, other Panther fans have mentioned about this. So I'll go ahead and give my 2 cents on this. Okay. So we know Matt Corral is down, out for the season. We know that Sam Darnold is down. Pretty much will be out for at least, 4 to 6 weeks, if not more. But I know he's going to get a second opinion, maybe a second MRI or whatnot. So that can vary. But I know there's a lot of folks and there was a lot of talk about, do they reopen Pandora's box and rent Cam Newton once again? Do they go and sign Cam Newton to be the potential backup behind Baker Mayfield? Y'all have known me for quite a bit. Those that have followed me here, y'all know I love Cam Newton. Best quarterback to this day, best quarterback to ever play for the Carolina Panthers. An incredible athlete. But I do not think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I just really don't think we're going to get the Cam Newton. Well, one, we're definitely not going to get the Cam Newton of 2015, but I don't even think we're going to get the Cam Newton of 2018 before he got hurt. And I think as a whole, as a fan base, we need to let him go. You know, Cam Newton has done a lot of good for this organization. He's left a lot of positive and negative marks. And his moments will always be treasured, remembered. I mean, he's the only franchise MVP we've ever had. But the ship has sailed. You know, we don't have the keys to that ignition anymore. And I don't think we should go looking for those keys. Let the ship sail. Move on. You know, Cam Newton is in the process of getting adjusted and used to the idea that he may not ever get a chance to play NFL football again. And, you know, he's doing great in other areas. You know, he's, being a father and, philanthropist. You know, I think also entrepreneur. You know, he's got his businesses and stuff like that. He's got his, modeling, all that. But I think we need to let that ship continue to sail. I don't think we should go and get Cam Newton. I don't think it's worth it. Because he's going to cost decent money. And the thing is, I mean, I understand it would be insurance, if Baker Mayfield ever gets, hurt. And, it's fair to say that he would be a better backup versus P.J. Walker. That's fair. But I think realistically, Cam has done all that he's been able to do for us. And you have to remember what Cam said himself. The whole situation with his second stint in Carolina and his stint in New England, he said it himself. He got put into, effed up situations. So I just don't see why it would make sense to, potentially put him right back in there once again. Especially given how things worked out last season. Like how things went down. So I just really feel that we need to, as a fan base, treasure the memories. I'm not saying discard or discredit the guy's name, because he should be respected as, one of the best players we've ever had, especially one of the best quarterbacks we've ever had in the Carolina Panthers franchise. So his name should always be respected and whatnot, but his time is done. His time is done. Now, if another team wants to give him that opportunity, you know what? Knock yourself out. I'd be happy for him. But the only thing that I can really see happening that involves Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers is him getting inducted to the Hall of Honor, or him, signing a day contract to retire as a Carolina Panther. That's the only thing that I expect to see the next thing happen involving Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. And that's just me keeping it real. That's me keeping it real. You know, I'll always love the athlete that Cam Newton is. He's done so much for this organization. But now's not the time to open Pandora's box again. We already tried it once. It didn't go well. The timing of it was bad. And it did not go well overall. We don't need to open that box a third time. We don't need to open it a third time. So, long story short, should we go pick up Cam Newton? Absolutely not. I love him, but absolutely not. Anyway, that's all that I have for this video. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. What do you think about the Laviska Shenault Jr. Trade? Picking him up, another wide receiver. What do you think about that trade? Was it a good move? Was it a bad move? What do you think about Bradley Bozeman healed up and returning to practice? And also, Cam Newton. There's been talks. Do y'all think they should go and get him for a third time? Or has that ship sailed? Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell while you're at it so you don't miss any video that I upload. And thank you so much for watching. This has been another Carolina Panthers Talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed evening, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.